to get the Haussmann aesthetic on a budget. Small Parisian apartment wall DIY. Welcome back to our little corner of the internet, where we believe that your square footage should never limit your style. We all dream of those sprawling 19th century apartments with soaring ceilings and ornate woodwork, but the reality for most of us is a narrow, slightly crooked studio. Today, I'm showing you that the Haussmann look isn't a luxury reserved for the wealthy, it's a design language we can speak even on a tight budget. We're going to transform these flat, personality-free walls into something that feels historic and intentional. Before we pick up a saw, we have to understand what makes a room feel Haussmann. It's not just about luxury, it's about symmetry, verticality, and the interplay of light and shadow. In a narrow Parisian room, these elements are actually your best friends because they draw the eye upward and create a sense of rhythm. My opinion? The biggest mistake people make is thinking they need authentic 100-year-old oak. You don't. You just need the right proportions and a little bit of DIY courage to fake it effectively. Let's be honest, hiring a professional carpenter in Paris to install custom boiserie would cost more than my entire year's rent. That is why we are taking the DIY route. We are looking for high-impact, low-cost materials that give us that carved wood look without the heavy price tag. By using lightweight polystyrene or MDF moldings, we can achieve a high-end finish for the price of a few dinners out. It's about being smart with your resources and realizing that paint is a powerful equalizer for different materials. Small, narrow rooms present a unique architectural hurdle. If you add too much bulk to the walls, you risk making the room feel claustrophobic. The secret to the Parisian aesthetic in a tight space is flat depth. We want to create the illusion of architectural layers without actually taking up more than a centimeter of floor space. By focusing on wall moldings that are slim and elegant, we honor the history of the style while respecting the physical limitations of our modern, tiny apartments. Every great project starts with a plan, especially when you're working with petite dimensions. I spent hours sketching out the wall panels for this room because symmetry is the backbone of French design. In a narrow room, you want to align your wall frames with your furniture. If your bed or sofa is off-center, your molding will make it look even more chaotic. We're going for a balanced, three-panel approach on the main wall to create a sense of order that calms the visual noise of a small space. In design, the golden ratio isn't just a math concept, it's the difference between a room that feels right and one that feels off. For our DIY moldings, we're placing the chair rail at roughly 1/3 of the wall height. This lowers the visual weight and makes the remaining 2/3 of the wall feel infinitely taller. When you're dealing with standard 2.5-meter ceilings, this trick is essential for cheating the eye into believing the room is a grand salon rather than a converted attic. I've experimented with many materials, and for a budget DIY, I'm a huge advocate for high-density polystyrene. Unlike cheap foam, this material is hard enough to withstand the occasional bump from a vacuum cleaner, but light enough to be held up with simple adhesive. If you're a purist, you can go with wood, but remember that wood requires more complex tools for cutting. For our purposes, we want something we can cut with a simple miter box and a handsaw, keeping our workshop confined to a kitchen chair. You don't need a garage full of power tools to do this. My toolkit for this project is refreshingly simple. A miter box for those 45-degree angles, a fine-tooth saw, a laser level, my absolute best friend for straight lines, and plenty of construction adhesive. Oh, and don't forget the caulk. If you take away one thing from this video, let it be this: caulk is the makeup of the DIY world. It hides every gap, every uneven cut, and every mistake you made along the way. Parisian walls are notoriously charming, which is code for nothing is straight. Before we glue a single piece of trim, we have to prep the surface. If your walls have layers of old, peeling paint, your molding won't stick. I spent an afternoon sanding down the high spots and cleaning the dust. It's the boring part of the process, but as an educator in this space, I have to tell you, your final result is only as good as your foundation. Don't skip the prep. To make a narrow room feel wider, you actually need to emphasize the height. By creating tall, slender rectangular panels on the walls, we draw the viewer's eye from the floor all the way to the ceiling. This vertical movement makes the walls feel further apart. It's a classic trompe-l'œil effect. We are essentially hacking the human brain's perception of space. Instead of seeing a cramped wall, your brain sees a structured, architectural landscape that feels much more expansive and grand. This is where most people get intimidated, but I promise you can do it. Cutting your trim at a perfect 45-degree angle is what creates those crisp corners that define the Haussmann style. My tip? Practice on a few scrap pieces first. When you're working in a small space, you can't afford to waste material. Take your time with the miter box, hold the trim steady, and remember, it's better to cut it a millimeter too long than a millimeter too short. You can always sand it down. Since many of us in Paris are renters, we have to be clever. If you want this to be permanent, use a heavy-duty construction adhesive. However, if you need to be able to remove it later, you can use command strips or a lighter tack adhesive combined with a few tiny finish nails. The goal is to make the molding look like it has been there since 1870, even if it was actually put up on a Tuesday afternoon in 2026 with some glue and a dream. Now we get to the most satisfying part of the job. Once your moldings are on the wall, you'll notice small gaps at the corners or between the trim and the wall. This is normal. This is where the caulk comes in. Running a thin bead of acrylic caulk along the edges and smoothing it with a damp finger is what turns separate pieces of plastic or wood into a seamless architectural feature. It's the moment the project stops looking like a craft and starts looking like architecture. After the caulk dries, a light sanding is necessary to ensure the transitions are invisible. Use a fine grit sandpaper, something around 220 grit, to gently buff the joints. In a small room, you are often very close to your walls, so these tiny details matter. You'll be able to see every lump and bump from your bed or your desk, so taking an extra 20 minutes to sand will pay dividends in how expensive the final result feels to your eye. In my opinion, the most critical decision you'll make is the paint color. In a small apartment, white isn't just white. You want a white with a hint of warmth, something like Sèvres white or a soft cream. This mimics the way natural light hits old limestone buildings. Avoid stark or blue-toned whites, which can feel clinical and cold. We want our walls to feel soft, inviting, and historic. The right shade of white will catch the shadows created by your new moldings beautifully. you paint your moldings, use the same color and finish as the wall itself. This is the secret sauce of the Haussmann aesthetic. By painting the trim and the wall in a uniform matte or eggshell finish, the molding looks like an organic part of the wall structure. Use a high-quality brush for the trim to avoid visible brush strokes. The goal is a smooth, velvety surface that reflects the soft Parisian light coming through your windows, making the narrow room feel airy. The reason wall moldings work so well in small spaces is because they play with light. Even in a room with only one small window, the raised edges of the trim create tiny shadows that add depth. I recommend adding a few wall sconces within the panels if you can. It highlights the DIY work and adds a layer of functional decor that doesn't take up any floor space. Lighting is the final touch that makes your budget molding look like a €1 million renovation. Now that the walls are done, how do we furnish a narrow, paneled room? The rule is to let the architecture breathe. Don't push a massive, bulky wardrobe against your beautiful new moldings. Instead, choose furniture with legs, what the French call meubles sur pieds, to let the floor and the baseboards remain visible. This keeps the sightlines open and ensures that your hard work on the walls remains the star of the show. It's about creating a dialogue between the furniture and the frames. If your narrow room feels like it's missing a focal point, a budget-friendly faux fireplace mantle is the perfect companion to your wall DIY. You can often find vintage-style wooden mantles online or at flea markets. By placing one against your paneled wall, you anchor the room and create that quintessential Parisian centerpiece. Even if it doesn't have a chimney, you can fill it with candles or books to add that lived-in, educational charm we all love about French interiors. I've seen many people get overexcited and add too much detail. In a small space, less is more still applies. Don't go for overly ornate, rococo styles of molding. Keep the profiles simple and classic. Overcrowding the wall with too many frames will make the room feel busy and smaller than it actually is. My opinion? Stick to large, simple rectangles. They provide the elegance of the Haussmann era without the visual clutter that plagues many modern DIY attempts. One thing I want to remind you is that these old Parisian apartments are never perfect. The floors creak, the walls lean, and nothing is ever truly square. If your DIY has a tiny gap or a slight tilt, don't stress. That imperfection is actually part of the charm. It makes the space feel human and storied. The goal isn't to create a sterile showroom, it's to create a home that reflects your taste and your effort. Authenticity beats perfection every single time. Stepping back and looking at a transformed wall is a powerful feeling. Suddenly, that narrow white box bedroom feels like a suite in a boutique hotel on the Rive Gauche. It changes how you feel when you wake up in the morning. When you invest time into your surroundings start to invest in you. This project is proof that with about €100 and a weekend of work, you can radically shift the energy of your living space. I hope this narrative inspires you to look at your small walls not as a limitation, but as a canvas. The Haussmann aesthetic is all about intentionality and grace, two things that don't require a massive bank account. If you found this educational or if it sparked an idea for your own home, please share your progress with our community. I can't wait to see how you bring a little bit of Paris into your own space. Until next time, happy decorating.